Hello everyone, welcome to your personal empowerment channel, and in this video I'm going to share with you the 5 things that I learned during my struggle with bulimia 25 years ago. My name is Doris Victoria, your personal transformational soul empowerment and conscious millionaire coach. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And first of all, I want to thank every new subscriber. I want to thank you for liking, for sharing, for subscribing to my channel. It means so much to me. Thank you so much. So as I promised, in this video, I'm going to dive deep again with you after having a couple of feedbacks after my last video where I talked about my struggle with bulimia. Today, I'm going to share with you what I learned from it. And I decided to make this video in order to help every one of you that might still be struggling with one of the eating disorders or maybe with another addiction, because eating disorders are addictions, to learn something deeper, maybe to learn about yourself. And maybe my hope, my dream is that this video helps you to love yourself even more and to understand yourself on a deeper level. So let's get started, my dear one. The first thing that I want to share with you is what I've learned from bulimia is it is not helping you to lose weight. So I want to quickly dive back into how I saw it. So when I was struggling with bulimia 27 years ago, I felt like for me, it was almost like a refuge place. It was almost like a friend that I could always go back to in case nothing would work anymore, or in case I had an addictive kind of eating, and I was just eating no matter what. And what I learned, and what I've also seen from working with other clients that had eating disorders or are still having eating disorders and therefore work with me, we're not really losing weight. For me, it was quite the contrary. I was either gaining weight or I was staying the same, but I did not lose weight. So part of the reason why I did not lose weight, and maybe it is the same for you, I'm not saying it is for everyone the same. I know that we are all different, and I acknowledge the sacredness and the uniqueness of every person that is dealing with it. So for me, it was, when I ate and you are chewing, your saliva already contains enzymes that are starting digestion literally in your mouth. So the food that you're swallowing and the food that gets into your stomach is kind of like pre-digested already, because digestion really starts in your mouth through your saliva, through chewing, which is activating to get more saliva into the food, and then the saliva will start the digestion through those enzymes. So for me, either because of that, or I don't know what the reason is. I did a lot of research afterwards trying to find answers for my own questions. This is why I wanted to share it with you today. In my case, it never really helped me to lose weight. The contrary, it made me gain weight or staying the same. And what I wanted to say also is, any addiction, if you have been struggling or are still struggling with an addiction, it can feel like a safe place, like a friend that would always be there for you, even though it is not something good that you're doing to your body, because any addiction means self-rejection. It means that you are not willing to feel something that you are feeling in that very moment where you are, in my case, purging, or where you are taking drugs or whatever addiction you might be struggling with. So coming back to bulimia, the first myth I wanted to kind of like bring light upon is bulimia is not helping you to lose weight. It is quite the contrary. It was the contrary quite for me. You're either staying the same or you're gaining weight. I was talking about self-rejection. I think this is the second thing I want to share with you, the self-rejective part, and I'm going to bring number 3 in there as well. Number 3 would be forgiving those that left you feeling like you were not worthy of love. In my case, I told you a lot about in my last videos. In my case, it was my mother. she was very, very hostile to me. And for her, when I was talking to her, when I was trying to talk to her about it, because talking to her is absolutely impossible. She's calling you a troublemaker if you want to talk about feelings, whatever. So whenever I wanted to talk to her about why she is so hostile to me, so unkind for no reason, I realized something that she doesn't even realize, that this is not kind. For her, this behavior is so normal because this must have been the way she has been raised. And so for her, this is the way you show love. You're just unkind and degrading and devaluating with every other being, you know, especially to your children. I don't know what it is. As I said, it is very hard to talk to her about things. There's absolutely no there's no insightfulness. And I think it's kind of like a projection or even a protection from her part towards something that she might have been living in her childhood. And she never talks about her childhood, so I can only imagine how it was. But what I believe is that for her, you know, self-love is pretty much being hostile to everyone else, being abrasive, being devaluing, being degrading. For me, however, kindness was always like my innermost, it was myself. Kindness was one of the traits that I could not live without, you know. For me, it was almost impossible to be unkind to any other being, because if I would be unkind to any other, I would be unkind to myself. And I didn't want to be unkind with myself, because we are all love. Why should we be unkind with ourselves? So forgive those that left you feeling that you were not worthy of love, that you didn't deserve love, that you were not beautiful maybe, that you were worthless, whatever it was. Let that go, you know. Do not give those people any more power over you. They never deserved that power in the first place, and it is up to you no longer to outsource your power towards those that left you with this feeling, but to bring that power back into you and tell yourself, I love myself. I am worthy of love. I am beautiful. I am unique. I am worthy. I am good enough. And this brings me to number 4. And the number 4 is mirror work. And I have talked a lot about mirror work already in my past videos. And here we go again. This is what an important tool mirror work has been for me when it came to self-acceptance, when it came to loving myself, to bringing myself back to an inner sanity where I didn't feel the need anymore to do anything that is turning against my own body. Because bulimia, dear ones, we have to keep in mind, if you're purging what you ate, you are also bringing stomach acid back into your mouth, which will hurt your teeth at one point. And, you know, I have seen cases of women that have been struggling with bulimia for a long, long time, and their teeth were literally eaten from that stomach acid. So this is another reason why self-love and mirror work is so important. Mirror work is all about accepting yourself as you are. And I'm going to talk about this more in the end of this video, because this would be number 5. Self-acceptance, dear ones, is such an important part when it comes to healing bulimia. So I remember back 25 years ago when I was struggling with it, I didn't necessarily had ideals, you know. I didn't want to look like this woman or this actress, you know. I didn't necessarily want to look like someone else. I wanted to feel good in my own body. So for me, that was the reason. It wasn't so much to, you know, chase an ideal that I have seen from a woman's body or whatever. It was more that I wanted to feel good with myself, until I learned that feeling good within yourself comes from your own love for yourself, your own acceptance for yourself, your own, you know, Lao Tzu said it so beautifully, happy and blessed is the person for whom she is enough, or for whom he is enough. meaning that, you know, that feeling of you are enough when you look at yourself and you look at your body. And this brings us back to mirror work. Are you criticizing yourself in the mirror? And by the way, it would be good if you had a mirror that would be head to feet, that would show your entire body, so that when you look at yourself, you see your entire body. So how are you reacting when you look at yourself in the mirror? Are you actually, how are you talking to yourself? I really want you to be mindful and attentive to how you're talking to yourself when you look in the mirror. Are you criticizing the pounds that are too much on your body? Or are you criticizing that maybe your legs are not long enough? Or are you criticizing that maybe your boobs are too big or too small? Are you criticizing your face? Maybe your eyes are too far apart, or maybe too close together, or maybe your nose is too big, or your hair is too thin, or too curly, or too flat, whatever it is. You know, watch how you are looking, how you are talking to yourself when you're looking at yourself in front of the mirror. And then start from there. Turn things around. Just watch your thoughts and decide from now on, okay, you know what? I decide from now on that to me, in my eyes, and try to look at yourself from your soul, because your soul always loves you unconditionally. So does Source or God or whatever we want to call this amazing, beautiful power that brought us here through our own consciousness, through our own choice. But we are always working one in one, hand in hand with this power that is unconditional, pure love, and it is always there for us. And this is the, you know, this is the feeling of love that you can tune back into. That is what it means to really feel love. A human being could never possibly show you what love really is, because none of us have learned unconditional love, and that's okay. You know, we're here to learn. We're here on planet Earth to learn, but you can be the change that you want to see in this world, and start being that change for yourself, dear one. So mirror work, again, is helping you to accept yourself. You know, start with tiny things. Start pointing out the things that you really like about yourself. You know, wow, I really like your belly. It is so beautiful, so round. It's like a royal belly. Or I really like my arms. My arms are so beautiful. I really like my wrists and my ankles. They're so tiny and so beautiful and so feminine, you know. Start pointing out little things about you that you could like. And then every day when you're doing this again, repeat this every day over and over again. You know, take something else and add it to the list every day. Add something positive about yourself, about your own image, to your list of your own acknowledging yourself every day. And then do it until you really feel that you can look at yourself and say, you know what, you're just beautiful. You are so precious to me. I love you more than you could ever imagine. I am so grateful you exist. I'm so grateful you're here. This is what I'm telling myself now. You know, when I'm getting up in the morning, my breath is still worse. You know, I didn't brush my teeth yet. I didn't comb my hair yet. I didn't put any makeup on, whatever. I'm just getting out of bed. My hair is all kind of messed up, as I said. And I'm telling myself, you're beautiful and I love you as you are. And your existence here on earth is so valuable. I just love you. You're so beautiful to me. Let's keep shining. Let's have a beautiful day, shall we? So start doing this for yourself, you know. Start being your own coach in that sense. Start being your own divine mother, or your own best friend, or your own father, or your own whatever that being was that left you feeling unworthy or not good enough or ugly or whatever. So all this, dear ones, is bringing us back. Oh, and by the way, I want to mention something here. I worked with ex-models as well. I have been myself an ex-model, and I worked with some of ex-models as well. And what I want to share here with you today is that even the most perfect women or actresses that we would see in television, or that we would see, I mean, I don't have a television anymore since 34 years, but I still get, you know, when the Oscars are, I still, when I pass by a store, for example, and there are magazines with the Oscar actresses, you know, wearing beautiful dresses, I kind of get what's going on. And then you see all these perfect bodies. Some of them are not so perfect, but the woman that is having this body is feeling perfect in it. So this is something that we see more and more. And I was actually singing hallelujah, not being religious at all, but I was kind of like, hallelujah, finally there's women that have a couple of pounds too much and are still comfortable in their own bodies and are showing their real estate without any shame. This is exactly what we need, dear ones. You know, we need more people that feel comfortable and loving in their own bodies. And only when you are, can you teach that to someone else. So my point here was that even the most perfect women that I have seen, where you would think, wow, everything about her is so perfect, everything is so, her proportions are so in alignment, everything is so just perfect. And then when you start talking to this person, she starts to, you know, no, she starts to criticize this and the cellulite on her thighs, for example, or whatever it is, you know, you wouldn't even see anything. But believe me, dear ones, even the most perfect in the eyes of society, because every single one of you, of us, is perfect, just because we breathe, just because we exist. But even the most perfect one that you would see on magazines, on stages, whatever it is, they still struggle with their own insecurities. None of us has it all figured out. We always think, oh, when I look like her, then I will feel good in my body. No, dear ones, you will feel good in your own body. And that's when you can start look like something amazing. But that something amazing will be you when you love yourself. So number 5 of the 5 things I learned struggling with bulimia is it all comes back from self-rejection to self-love. We can heal any addiction when we start loving ourselves. We can heal any disease, anything that is out of alignment, any misqualified energy in our body, anything we can heal when we start to feel, because feeling is the beginning of any healing. We're allowing ourselves to feel what we are feeling in that moment, where in my case it was purging, it was putting the finger in my mouth and bringing it all up again so that I would be empty. But then I would feel this void again. You know, for a moment there I felt self-relief, but I also felt this void and like, I need to eat again. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle, this eating and purging and eating and purging. So remember, dear ones, that it all comes back from self-rejection. Any addiction is a clear pointer to any sort of self-rejection. Now, what is it in you that you are rejecting? Is it your body? Is it your being? Is it something that you did or something you said? Is it maybe your own caregiver? You know, it can be anything, but please start paying attention to what it is that you are rejecting, either about yourself or about your life or about this world or about somebody else. Be mindful there and then bring it back into self-love. Remember that self-love, to love yourself, this is something beautiful that I learned and I want to share it here with you. To love yourself means to unconditionally accepting yourself. I say that again. To love yourself means to unconditionally accepting yourself. This is why I was proposing mirror work. This is why I was telling you the myth about losing weight when it comes to bulimia, which is actually not true. So come back home into your own heart and love yourself back to health. Love yourself back to alignment. Love yourself so much that you will remember that just by your existence, you are loved, you are worthy, you are adored, you are celebrated. If we could ever tap back into that love that is there for us always, and I'm not talking from other human beings, the love that we get from other human beings is great, but it all comes back to the love that we feel that is there for us from source, and bring it back into ourselves and start treating ourselves the way source is treating us all the time. You know, remember when you're in bed, your heart is beating without you being aware of it. It's your soul doing that for you. Your breath is flowing in and out without you, you know, willingly having an impact on your breath. No, it is source, it is your soul. And that soul is part of the divine. That soul of you is part of that infinite light of source. So part of it is in your body, part of it is always on the other side, and hence we're always connected to the divine side. So go back into that divine side of yourself, tap back into that unconditional love where everything is possible, where healing is just a breath away, because you remember that you are worthy of feeling loved, of feeling whole, of feeling entire and sufficient in your own body. So I hope this video helps you, dear ones. Again, thank you so much for liking, for subscribing, for sharing my videos with those that you feel might know or might have the need to hear what I'm sharing here. Thank you again for all my new subscribers. Welcome. I hope this channel is bringing you what you were looking forward to. And if there's anything that you're looking for, dear one, if you have any questions about your own addiction, about your own struggle, whatever it is, remember you're powerful. Remember that healing is just a breath away. And I am inviting you to ask your questions here. You can type them down in the chat or leave me a little message about what you have taken away from today's video. It means the world to me, as I said. Lots of love to all of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.